All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we're going to talk about some Warden things. As you guys know, last week I started working on a Warden. I wanted to go through some stuff in general. I don't have a finalized build yet, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk to you guys about, you know, what I've been working on, what I've kind of tested, and, you know, you guys can watch some gameplay, and if you kind of like it, maybe you adopt some things, and if you don't like it, you know what not to run. So yeah. As you guys know, I starting last week, I started working on a Warden, and I've been running sword and board and dual wield. And people have asked, you know, why are you running it like this? And the long story short is I like to play all my classes in a different way if I can. If I can play them differently, then they all feel different. And like I've been playing this game for so long that if I switch to another class, I don't want to play sword and board and 2H stammed and then switch to sword and board and 2H necro and then sword and board and 2H stam DK. You know what I mean? Like that's not super fun for me. And so I like to try and have different play styles. And the changes to Flurry have been pretty good. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about the Flurry changes and what they've done and my overall thoughts on it. But yeah, they've upped the damage quite a bit. Like the animation has gotten a lot of flack, and for good reason. The animation literally just looks like you're light attacking. and that's highly amusing, but the damage is there. My original build, I was running Alchemist, Essence Thief, Bal, Oregon Sea Serpent, and on the 4 procs of the jabs for Flurry, it was a 17k tooltip with everything procced. And so I mean that's a ton of damage, guys. Like that is so much damage. And I was looking at it, it's like it's a 0.8 second channel, and it's 4 pokey sticks, and it was a 17k tooltip. This build, I made some adjustments. It's like 14.5 fully buffed or 15, which is still good. You know, I mean, it's a similar tooltip damage to like my surprise attack on my Nightblade, a little bit more, without obviously like the other modifiers that surprise attack gives it everything. But the damage is really, really good for the skill. And the thing that I noticed with it is, as long as you land the first one, you can completely turn your body and look the other direction, and all 4 will land. So they changed how the hitbox works for all of them. No longer do you have to be like in the same box. It doesn't work like jabs. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really interesting. It makes it a lot easier to use. It kind of ensures that the damage is there for you. So yeah, they must have did that when the new animation came in, and trying to get more people to use it. And so there's been times where I've ran it and I just feel like I'm melting people. Like, I'm running a stand-in. I know everybody like stand-in is in a very good spot right now because of deep fissure and all this other burst damage. But there'll be times where I run across people and it's like my Flurry is just chunking half their health bar before even the fissure gets there. And I'm like, holy crap, this person's already dead. And then there's other times where it feels like it's doing absolutely nothing. And I'm just like, okay, well, what's happening here? And so I wanted to ask you guys if you guys have noticed that as well. Like, is this something that you've noticed on your end? Have you used Flurry yet? What are your thoughts on it? Because sometimes I run it, I'm like, this feels amazing, and then other times I run it, I feel like this does no damage at all. And I'm not sure if that's a byproduct of the patch, or if maybe there's just some sort of targeting. Like, although the animation looks like it's hitting, it's not actually hitting. I really don't know. But it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because sometimes it just doesn't look right. And so yeah, so I'm in this BG. We might as well talk about the build. I have been playing I told you about my old build. I've been playing at Open World Cyrodiil. I did some 2VX with Nice, and guys, I'm sorry, but my dumb ass didn't record it. It didn't record on my computer, so I apologize. Nice and I got in some good fights. You're just gonna have to believe me. But I just had some issues with survivability with the specific setup that I'm running. And so, and obviously, like, I'm running sword and board and dual wield, and people will be like, well, just run sword and board and 2H. And I know that. I know that. Like, that would honestly solve all the issues I have. But I'm going to go down this rabbit hole and try some things out this way. This does have some benefits. Obviously, like, spin to win's unavoidable. You get somebody at low health, they try to get away. I mean, spin to win is pretty brainless. Like you're close to somebody, you spin, they die. And so it does have some benefits as well. And obviously, like, Flurry's good damage. And yeah, but going off my old build, I felt that I I was lacking some survival in some fights relative to other builds that I run. You know, like Nice, and I had some really nice like 2v10s and stuff, but every once in a while we'd get into a little bit more of a sweaty fight against players that were better, you know, like 4 or 5 man, you know, groups, and I just couldn't sustain. Like I'd play with Blap, and there was a fight we're in, and you know, I'll probably post it on my channel, but I was so mad about it because, you know, Blap's doing his thing, staying alive, almost killing people, and I did not have the survival to stay in the fight. I kept dying and coming back and dying and coming back. And that's part of the process, guys. Like you got to figure this stuff. Like if you want to play a solo or small scale build and you want to try and figure out survival on your own, and honestly, Warden is my least played class. You guys, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go back and look at Warden gameplay. It's very minimal on my channel. I really don't play it much. And so I figured, you know what, I might as well figure it out at some point. I need to level all these characters on PC. I'm just gonna go through the struggles. And yeah, I've had mixed reviews. Like some fights it's been really good, and some fights it's been really bad. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna add some beef. I'm gonna put on the 40k health polar wind build for the healing that way. And I'm also gonna run Mara's Balm. Mara's Balm just got an adjustment yesterday. For those of you guys that don't know, it got hot fixed, and so now it's got a 1 second cooldown on it. 1 second cooldown. It's like a 1650 heal that can scale with CP and everything every second. And so it's in my opinion, I thought it was a pretty good change. It still makes it strong, and I wanted to try it out. And so I'm running Mara's Alchemist. I got Master's Dual Wield on the front bar for the rending dot, and then I have One Piece Balorg with Sea Serpent. And so Sea Serpent works really well with Warden because they already have that snare passive. And then with a 3 Swift, you really have some speed, and then you have the wings with Major Expedition. Everything just kind of lines up, and it's kind of nice. And you'll see here my sustain's kind of bad, and that's just because it's no CP, and I have more of a CP-based build. But yeah, overall, the build felt really good. I put on Master's Dual Wield because although I had a ton of burst, there was some fights where I felt like I just didn't have sustained pressure. And there's not very many good dots in the game. Master's Dual Wield is one of them. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it goes. And you know, the dot feels good. And so I have this dot pressure. And then I don't have Dawnbreaker leveled because I didn't have my Fighter's Guild fully leveled on this character yet. But I have the Master's Dual Wield dot. I'm using Flurry, you know, which is it's a small channel, and then I have Northern Storm. And so when I go into all these things and I hit with this dot, and I hit with the Northern, which is hitting very hard on this build, I want to say it's like a 7k or just under 8k tooltip. I'll have to go back and look at it. I don't think anybody really cares what the exact tooltip is, but the damage is really good. Once I go into that, like, people just start getting cooked. Like, a lot of people just start taking so much damage, and then you have the fissure, and then you have the spin to win with all this pressure, and it's really, really tough to deal with. And so yeah, I mean, this is a lower MMR BG. This isn't an insult to anybody. I think everybody that is in this BG knows that this isn't this isn't high MMR or anything, so you have to take that into account. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit of gameplay of the type of build that I'm trying, and maybe you're interested in this, and maybe you want to try something kind of similar, like maybe a similar layout with different sets or maybe different skills, and you're like, oh yeah, that looks kind of cool. The way that you would make it better is I would do this, like, and maybe not. Maybe you look at it and you go, oh, that's garbage. I'm not running that. That's freaking garbage. But yeah, I figured I wanted to try something new, and yeah, it's feeling okay. It's feeling okay. I'm going to take this in open world this week. I'll let you guys know. About Mara's in open world. Obviously, in Battlegrounds, Mara's procs aren't nearly as high, even last patch, because it's very rare that you're facing a bunch of people. Plus, in no CP, the amount of damage that you take in is a decent amount more. And so yeah, it's not going to function the same in here, but it still felt pretty good. It still gave me solid healing. It still was a purge, every 15 seconds of all negative effects. It still had a burst heal. I was still getting 9k heals off of it for the burst heal in Battleground. So I know that it'll be over 5 figures once we get into Battleground, or once we get into open world. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this will work in open world on its own. I'm a little bit skeptical about my survival, just because a lot of my healing is mag sustain, and if I run out of mag, I'm out of resources. And I know that if this current setup doesn't work the way that I want it to, I'll probably just go 2H and dual wield, and I'll try and use dual wield front bar. I'll use 2H on the back bar just to have that, extra heal with rally and all that. And so it's not a big deal to me, but I want to try something a little bit more unique first and see if I can pull it off and go from there. I could always run bow back bar too, but then I have to get that leveled. So yeah, that's going to be the end of my talking here. If you guys want to check out the rest of this BG, feel free. I have a VOD on my Twitch stream if you guys want to check it out. I basically bounce back and forth between doing BGs and leveling up skill lines in Skyreach. And so if you guys want to go watch some more BGs with this build, with me testing and tweaking different things, you can feel free to go check out that VOD. But yeah, I'll be streaming a few more times this week, kind of going through some things, going through the PTS and all those other sorts of fun things. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video, or me talking at least. I'll let you watch the end of the video. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.